Right, so it's time to get started. We're going to meet Jordan. We're going to get stuck in. What a place this is. We've been to some amazing indoor facilities recently, and it's something the UK has been missing. But now, stuff like this, we've got a freaking bunker. There's a bunker indoors. When do you even find that? But yeah, look, the lab's out. One thing obviously we've noticed about this is we've got fitted for it, which is amazing, but it wasn't an actual putting lesson. Jordan is one of the best putting specialist in the UK, so we're going to jump in with him and we're actually going to have a putting lesson, so you can be a little bit of a fly on the wall. But I'll tell you one thing for sure, if I want to shoot under par this year on camera, which is the main goal, I'm going to need this to work. And putting, I've learned, especially with aim point last year, is one of the most important things, is putting. No matter what anyone says, I can't knock 5 shots off my game by hitting good drives or good iron shots, but putting, you definitely can. So we're going to jump in, meet Jordan. Jordan,
nice to see you.
Thank you for the invite. I'll jump down here so I don't look really tall.
No worries.
Tell me about this place, because it looks, I'm seeing this and it looks mad.
Yeah, so what you've got there on the screen is the Sam Putt Lab.
Yeah.
You've got the 3D software with this, which gives you a really detailed insight into what's going on. I'll just show you through a couple of the different things that it can do. So this is what we're going to use to measure your stroke, analyse what's going on alongside the video software that we've got.
Aim point helped me massively.
Yeah.
I did go about a year ago, I couldn't for my life go back to right hand low.
Okay.
That now, even though I'm right-handed, I can't even take it away straight. Or maybe I can, but to square my shoulders up about a year and a half ago, I didn't go like massive left hand low, I literally just rest it like that.
Okay, perfect.
It feels solid, my shoulders are square, and I feel like that's when I can, I've got a tendency to lift up.
Okay, so would
Massively.
that, and you
I mean,
feel like leveling your shoulders out, that's helped with that as well?
Yeah, but I still feel like if I'm going to put even there, I would go like that and then go.
So tipping back away from the target.
Yeah, and obviously you see people putting the go at that and then look. It'd be really good to incorporate something like that in, but I might not. I feel
that's
like
where that camera above might show us some things that
exactly.
That's why
we're here. But I think I haven't had a putting lesson probably. I don't even know, a year and a half maybe.
Okay.
So I've been wanting one for a long time. Good. So it's really good to you can get a fit in, but it's not a lesson.
Yeah, we'll be able to give you some things.
That's why today it's a proper lesson.
Yeah. We'll definitely be able to give you some things to work on. So before I hook the sensor up, I'm just going to let you hit a few putts just to get a feel for the speed of the green.
Right, so we're all warmed up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get 9 putts. So I'm not going to bore you all and film every single one. We'll get 9 putts and then we'll go through the data straight away after. Just got to get used to this big laser thing being on my... Go in. Ooh.
But nice. On the screen on the left, you're going to see the report of everything we've done.
Yep.
So if we have a look through this rating system, so I'll go through what that means. So the overall rating is split through the 3 categories you'll see down here on the left. So consistency counts for 50% of that overall rating.
Yep.
Timing counts for 25% of the rating, and tendency counts for 25% of the rating. So tendency is basically all the different technical aspects that make up the stroke. Now, the most obvious thing there is that there's a drop-off maybe in consistency.
Yeah.
So for you, looking at the tendency rating is really high. This rating system is good and bad, really. So it can make certain things look better than they actually are, but what we want to look at is where's that drop-off in consistency coming from and how can we increase that? And do we need to make any technical changes to achieve it? So first thing that jumps out straight away is you tend to aim to the left.
Right.
Now when you said you struggle on a left to right putt, that you miss them high, it might just be that you're actually aiming higher than you intend.
Right, okay.
Now what you'll see here that you were doing quite well, your aim was a varied amount to the left. So you had one really neutral aim and then it kind of drifted further left as we went on. If we go to the next page now, you did a pretty good job of squaring the face up on all of those. Now, the problem you've got...
0.1 baby, 0.1.
So 1.5 degrees of opening from setup to impact. Now, if you stood here on a straight putt all day long, I would back you to hold way more than you'd miss.
Yeah.
However, if we start then throwing in different breaks, different lengths of putt, things could start to break down. And interestingly, if you look at your path, which I'll bring up on the 3D system here on the right, you'll see here towards the end how some of the stroke started to look a little bit like this, where you'd almost have the club sort of flare out to the right on the way through.
Oh, yeah.
So that's interesting that you'd see that, almost like you're trying to get the ball to go to the right, almost like subconsciously you know you're aiming left, which is interesting. So if we look at how it happens, so this putt here, you're aiming 1.8 degrees to the left.
I can see it.
And as you've taken it back, you've actually done a pretty good job there of getting the face fairly square to the path. So you can see here how the face is pretty close to square to to those face lines there. And then brought it back through at impact pretty well. And released the putter, and then, like we say, that little flare off at the end.
What is
That's there's loads of different little things that we see from different people.
Yeah.
So there's, we want to look at why that is happening first of all. Strike, interestingly, high on the face. Okay. Do you tend to leave more putts short than overhit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be a big reason as to why that's happening. Now this is where things start to get a little bit more interesting now. So if we look at the rotation of the putter here, it's not as consistent as we'd like. And if you look at these graphs here, we start seeing things start to vary a little bit more than we'd like there. And this area here where we look at relative rotation, so that's rotation relative to the path of the putter.
Okay.
So a lot of people are under the impression a putter should move straight back and straight through, which is not the case. That's not how a putter is designed to move. The putter should move with some arc, which we can see here again with the template that's over there on the SAM system. So there should be some arc in the stroke. And in an ideal world, we'd like the putter to work square to that arc if we can. Now, you can see when the face lines there are changing colour, face is closed to its path on the way through there. But basically, you've just, for me, got too much reliance at the moment on timing.
Okay.
Now tell me if this is something you notice when you play. I would imagine you have days where you feel like you can't miss.
Yeah.
But then I probably reckon you go out the next day and you feel like you can't hold a thing.
Yeah.
Almost like you don't know what you're doing good to do it again or do it bad.
Yeah, blame the green.
Yeah, that's a common one. You can't blame this
Green's so
green.
bad, aren't they? Nothing's going in.
So
And when it goes in, I'm like, it's pure. What a course.
So let's have a little look at the video now. So we've got
This is what I want to see.
So we've got the overhead camera will come up on the left now. If we look at the video, the camera on the left there, the overhead one, immediately we can see that your shoulders are slightly open, pointing to the left.
Still, yeah.
So that will be a factor potentially in the aim. Also, you notice how your head is tilted back relative to your shoulders. So your head's almost tilting away from the target slightly there. What I'm going to do in a minute is show you something without telling you, because I think if I tell you it will sort of give it away, but I'm going to show you something as to why you're potentially aiming the way you are, which is then leading you to need to push the ball into the hole in that instance a lot of the time, but also we can look specifically later on at a left to righter and see if we can figure out if that's affecting it.
Yeah.
Now, if we look at the setup here, the thing that jumps out at me a little bit, and this might be because of the change of putter,
Yeah.
you've obviously gone for a counterbalance putter now, which is longer.
Yeah.
See how your upper arms and your elbows are almost kind of behind your torso a little bit?
Right.
So that's something we need to look at. You said you're not really sure how high you want to hold the putter because it's newer. So again, we'll figure that out where we blend that into what the setup should look like. So there might be a couple of tweaks with this position here in your arms in particular. So what we're going to look at now is specifically your setup and look at why you're aiming the way you do, or what could be influencing that. So if you just address that ball, putter just behind that white line I've set up there. Now if you trace your eyes along that white bar towards the target for me, if you just look along it, what does it look like that's pointing to you?
Left.
Right, so if you step off and relax. Now I had a pretty good idea that was what you were going to say. So you'll have probably all, people watching this will have heard it, you've probably been told it before, where you'll hear that people say you have to have your eyes over the golf ball when you putt.
Right.
That's actually not true. It's actually complete nonsense. That position varies from person to person.
Right, okay.
So if we look at what's going on there, so your perceptual bias is to the left.
Right.
So your brain then thinks you need to do what with the putter?
Aim left.
Push it and open it. Now, obviously this is the first time I've ever seen you putt. Now over time, that might have been that you used to push the ball to the right and miss to the right, and then your aim's drifted left to compensate. But I could tell you everything I'm going to tell you after this, but if we don't fix this bit, you're always going to manipulate something.
Right, okay.
So this is a really simple way of us straight away reducing that tendency for that push. So what we're going to look at now is how do we get into a good setup, and where do your eyes need to be specifically for you to see that target, see that straight, to get your perception really narrowed into the centre of the hole. I want you to just take the club for me in your normal grip, and I want you to just hold the club straight out in front of you for me. Okay. So arms dead straight. Yeah. And if we level the shaft to the ground, perfect. Right. Now, what I want you to do first, you're going to bring your upper arms in towards your rib cage, and as you're doing that, I want your forearms to turn to the sky.
Okay.
Okay. So if you move them in. Yeah. Right. So you can see there, and the camera will pick that up now. See how your elbows are more forward on your rib cage and behind your body like they were on the video?
Yeah.
Now, we may need to grip it a little bit lower as well. We'll figure that out in a second. Now, what I want you to imagine now, and this will feel pretty natural to you. If I said to
a couple of tickets to the gun show. I can get you tickets if you want.
If I said to you now to make a putting stroke at this angle and keep the shaft parallel with the ground, how would you naturally do that?
Put like this now?
Yeah. Exactly that. So you move your rib cage and your shoulders, which is what you were trying to do for me already. That won't feel alien to you.
Right.
Okay. Yeah?
Yeah.
Feel good? Perfect. Right, so go back to that position. And then what I want you to do, if you just stay up there again, if you just go back to that position, yeah. Now, what I want you to do now, a little bit of knee flex, couple of inches of knee flex. Now what you're going to do is pivot from your waist. So backside's going to go back, chest's going to go forward, and the club's going to lower to the ground as you're doing that. So you want to keep that distance between the club and your body the same all the way through. Brilliant. Right, awesome. Now that already looks totally different. That looks really, really good.
Look like Adam Scott.
So if you walk into that ball now,
oh, sorry.
so just go back to that position again.
Right.
So everyone does that. So just go into that position again. If you go into the ball now, okay, a couple of reference points I want you to look for. First of all, can you see your shoulders on that bottom mirror?
Yeah, just
Perfect. So your shoulders are already more square there. And then if we look at ball position in this direction, if you drew a line up from your left eye, would your left eye be in line with the golf ball there?
yeah.
Whereabouts would it be?
So like just in my putter, like maybe the front of the golf ball. Like
So your left eye's this side?
Yeah, yeah.
So just step to your left a tiny bit.
Going back to this.
Let me just have a look from there. Yeah, so tiny step to your left.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's in line with it now.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now just out of interest from where you are now, are your eyes more inside the ball or are you more over it again?
No, I'm definitely this side of the ball.
Right, just check for me now where that stick looks like it's pointing now. Does it look any different? Still slightly left?
Yeah.
Okay, so just back away from the ball ever so slightly, same posture. So I just want you to stand a little further away, that's all.
I feel miles away from it though.
Just go, look, you don't have to be that far. Go a bit nearer where you're a bit more comfortable, yeah, okay? Right, now, how does that look now from there? Does that look any different if you look along there now?
Yeah, it's starting to look a bit more at the hole.
More towards the hole?
Yeah, a little
Brilliant.
bit,
Right, now, just get yourself nice and balanced, yeah, that's it. Now, all I want you to do now is feel like from your waist, you're just gonna go ever so slightly taller. Yeah, now check down there for me, how does that look?
Yeah, good.
Is that more in the middle?
Yeah.
Dead centre, are we, pretty much, or not quite?
Left edge.
Left edge, okay. So a tiny bit further away, keeping that posture as it is. How's that?
Yeah.
We good there?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Right, let me take a picture of that setup now. If we look at the differences there now already, just from moving you into that position. The one on the right was when you walked in. So you can see the shoulders were left and head's really tipping back against your body. If we look at the one on the left, we can see shoulders more square. Heads maybe could still be a little bit more neutral there, but we're not in a bad spot. Now, when I flip this round to the down the line view, look how much more athletic your posture now looks on the left compared to the right.
Oh, yeah.
On the right, you look more slouched. You can see your arms are behind your torso. It's going to make things quite wooden, quite cylindrical in your movement. It's going to make it difficult for you to really feel relaxed.
Your back as well. Like
So much curve in the back, like there on the left now. That looks really, really good.
I do feel mild. Obviously, you're looking at pictures and see it on there. I'm not, but it does look like it feels.
If you think about it, your eyes have moved one golf ball, if that half a golf ball inside, which feels different, but that's where, as I say, if you can spend that 10, 15 minutes a day working on this at home or on the putting green and just getting comfortable in this position, it'll become second nature in no time. Good effort.
What you don't understand is, right, not a lot of people get excited about putting. Like, you can get excited when you hit a drive and you see 30 yards distance on the screen, you think, oh my God, I'm going to braid further. It is good, but like 50% of the game is putting in it.
Yeah.
If you shot a level par round, what, 72, 18 holes, you 2 putting every hole, it's 36 shots in it.
Yeah.
Most of your golf is with this, but yet no one does this.
So the last putt you've just hit, the phase change from aim to impact was 0.4 degrees. At the beginning, with the left aim, you were having to open the face by 1.5 degrees. So straight away, without us really saying anything about technical aspects of your stroke, just by improving your setup, getting you aligned better, getting your perception sorted, that immediately is reduced. So if we can hopefully now, as we go through this, see that phase change stay down, you're going to have much more predictability in your start line. And then when we look in a minute on the break inputs, we should see, again, that predictability stay there, where you've got much more trust over where you're aiming and where the ball's going to start, rather than feeling like you've got a left to righter and you're almost not looking forward to having that putt because you're almost uncomfortable with just standing over a left to right. You're thinking, I don't know if I'm going to hit this online or not. So we're going to move the green now. So we're going to look at how Gaz can manage break inputs using this the T-line. Really, really useful training aid for anyone. That's by Vizio. Really useful. I'm going to set. Now I don't want you to look at this because I don't want you to, because you aim point, you can't see the slope percentage because otherwise you're going to know what I'm doing.
Looking away.
So if you want to just flip the camera around now, you'll see the green start to move once I press that button. So you'll see it starts to rise up, and then it will tilt. It's giving us a left to right putt. This. So this is the beauty of having this inside. We can create any slope that we want. So we can work on the stroke all across the board. We're not limited to just flat putts. So it's a really good way of practicing, really good way of making sure the stroke's functional across the board. When you have aim pointed it, if it's outside the hole, I want you to put that down where that aim point would be. And then you're going to line the T-bar up to that. Now the reason we use, on a golf course here, you'd use a T-peg, I just use a battery inside, just so it's easy to stand on the green. What we're looking for there is that battery is going to be your reference point for your perception. Okay, so once you've aim pointed, tell me what percentage you think it is and then put that battery down.
What number is it?
2. But
Is it a 2?
But it's quite fast in it as well. So you got like, obviously slows here, but I would say it's like
perfect.
About there.
So you're correct, it is a 2% slope, so you got that right.
Just about there.
Okay. So if you line that T-line up to that, and you're looking for, when you address the ball, that T-bar looks like it's pointing straight at that battery where you've lined it up, so that's lined up really nicely. So check that looks like it matches up for me. Chances.
I'm so unlucky. No. Go. Tell you what though, pace.
I'd take that. I'd take that all day long.
Technically, if it was closer to the pin, he would have won.
Great to have you.
So I'll put Jordan's details in below. Some of this technology is literally only here. Worth a drive down for me. What I'm going to do is, like I do with Chris and my swing lessons, because this year, in the winter it's been a bit crap, weather's been crap, I haven't played as much, but my goal is, like I said this year, is to shoot under par on camera 18 holes. We did it a few times, like 9 holes here and there, but I want to do it on camera, 18 holes, that's my goal this year. And I think this is going to be a massive part of it. So what we'll do is, we'll keep it consistent, maybe every month and a half or whatever what you think is right. And it'll be interesting at the end of the year to get it up and get the data up and look at my rounds, how many putts I'm having, and we'll go from there. But mate, absolute pleasure, and been a good lesson, and it's not too confusing either. No, I feel like it's literally just my setup, that down, just being conscious of like, just once I get my arms to here, bend my knees a little bit, up, bum goes out, shoulder goes in, get comfy and hit it.
Exactly. It's just, that's the thing, it's catered to you as an individual. It's not, you know, you're a good player, you didn't need to reinvent the wheel, tidy a few things up, and then we'll keep building it from there, step by step.
Perfect.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for coming.
See you guys soon.